Welcome, everyone. I am Chris, the founder of All Will Retire. I'm so glad you're here today. Today is our fifth community chat, I think. Excited to just kind of talk about progress, what we've done recently, and, some ideas I have on where we go in the future. But also, remember, everyone's the developer of AWR here. It's everyone's responsibility to grow AWR as they best see fit. But since we got some new faces, wanted to go over my elevator pitch for All Will Retire. So, All Will Retire is the world's third culture coin. And so, culture coins, what we do is we really seek to provide messages of simplicity and really focus on capturing retail people, new liquidity out in the real world. 75% to 90% of the people in the world don't yet own crypto. And there must be a reason for that. And I have my own theory, my own thesis. But really, the way we got started is we took Murad's thesis. Murad follows us. We took his thesis and we iterated on it. And his thesis is stop trading, believe in something. And I don't think that's enough. I don't think we go far enough. I don't think he's wrong. I think he's right. I think he just needs to be more bullish. Our thesis, our approach is that we need to stop trading, build a message, build a community, build a family that gives others something to believe in. And that's really what differentiates culture coins with meme coins. Meme coins fight over the same liquidity within crypto Twitter. They're constantly PvPing, whether they'll admit it or not. Any developer that tells you otherwise doesn't understand limited time, limited resources, doesn't understand what utility means. So we are really focused on driving liquidity and utility out into the real world, all around a message of financial security, building a better future for ourselves. So we take these ideas and we make ourselves highly visible, and we push ourselves out in the real world over Instagram, over Facebook, over TikTok to start. But the crutch of it is that the best people in the world to onboard our neighbors, to onboard the people at the parents at our kids' schools, to onboard our coworkers, to onboard our buddies that we hang out with, people we go to the gym with, do yoga with, is us in our local communities. We already have trusted relationships with all the individuals there. So we are best suited, more so than the Murads of the world, more so than the Alex Beckers of the world, more so than any other KOL, influencer, intellectual thought leader could ever be. And all that really matters with regards to onboarding new liquidity at the end of the day is providing a reasonable, viable alternative to choosing All Will Retire or any coin, really, over Bitcoin. Because that's all that really matters to new crypto users. They have too much hindsight, too much cultural knowledge accumulated over Bitcoin when they're first-time crypto users to not pick it. So that's what All Will Retire is in a nutshell, a culture coin, spreading a message of hope and aspirations around financial security out into the real world, pushing it outwards. So with that being said, if people do have questions, please raise your hand, stop me. I'd love to pass the mic off. But let me go over some updates on what we've accomplished recently. Let me pull up my notes. So as I said, All Will Retire works and decentralizes responsibility for the growth of our community, our family, our message to everyone. I am not the sole developer. I renounce ownership of All Will Retire. Everyone's responsible for growing it in the way they best see fit, to be biased towards action, to not need to ask permission. And this is set up very much in the way that Bitcoin was in the beginning days. People asking, what do we do? How do we grow it? And people had to build an ecosystem of humans and of services around it. And so I bring that up because we've had individuals in the community really step up to help us iterate and legitimize our community, our token even more so recently. So recently we launched a merch store Monday this week that's integrated with Shopify, PayPal, and Printful that will be able to ship merchandise around the world. And we've had a community member, Bull Badulman, help design the initial line of merchandise, which is great. I really want to thank him and appreciate him. And so with this merchandise that we purchased, it was voted on by the community that the proceeds after the fees we pay for PayPal and Printful and taxes are applied will be poured back into our AWR Treasury wallet. And so that will happen at the end of every month. I just want to add an asterisk. At the end of this month, March, it won't happen because since we are a new merchant on PayPal, they actually hold our funds for longer durations and they won't be released till April. So we'll see a bigger chunk of funds deposited in April than we would in March. And we've actually had our first sale on a merchandise store the other day. So huge thanks for Baldwin around that. Iterating on it and thinking about it, where we might go here with the merchandise stores. We talked about how all were retired, just the aspirational message of financial security of retirement really is already ingrained in every first world modernized society. We don't have to spend any money, any time helping people understand the benefits of retirement financial security. But there's different sects of people, different groups of people in these communities, these societies that are highly segregated and isolated by choice. What's great is that we can develop different All Will Retire brands, and we started with the All Will Retire lifestyle brand on X, which is more focused on opulence, maybe excess and wealth. But we can take this brand and help use it to build out our merchandise brand. And I think in the future, I would like us to see long-term develop a sporting apparel, athletic wear brand for goth. I think goth kind of more embodies that idea of opulence, wealth, excess. Maybe not for everyone, but in general, it should be a natural transition into the All Will Retire lifestyle brand. And we should be able to build out a merchandise line for that, but also sponsor individual players and teams long term, both on the pro tour and especially in the United States at the college level, because of our rules around individual licensing on individuals here in college sports. So I bring that up where we just came from. Huge thanks to Badumen and also where we're going. Another update coming back to the decentralized process of how we grow AWR. David, I think his name is Dejvid in our chat, as well as Lee, have worked over the last 2.5 weeks to iterate on our site. When we first launched in December, we just had a placeholder, a template. Now we have and after that we had a coming soon site. Now we have a proper landing page that looks great. And so Lee and David worked hard over the last 2.5 weeks in a very decentralized, asynchronous manner. They're from different parts of the world, all three of us. They've collected feedback from me and each other, and they've really helped driven the site forward and allow us to have a more credible story within the crypto community of a landing page. And so coming back to it, how we talked about where our message is really designed to be pushed outwardly to connect and resonate with everyday people, maybe those that aren't crypto inclined. Looking ahead, we will continue to iterate on this site. We have different brands. One of them we're trying to develop is called the Life by Design brand, which kind of embodies more of a wholesome, maybe practical, down-to-earth aspect of what retirement or financial security means. Maybe another way to think about it is really about empowerment of ourselves with time and living life by design. So what we will be doing is we would be iterating on the site in the future to both kind of incorporate more the humanized elements from our Life by Design site, as well as in the future provide what I think we should do is a knowledge base of financial literacy and financial knowledge around how to plan and maybe even retire in the future. And I'll touch on that shortly. But I just wanted to bring that up. That's where I think the website can go and where we can iterate on it next. But huge thanks to Lee and David for helping us iterate on the website. About a week and a half ago, the community voted to give me permission to be a liquidity provider for All Will Retire, in the hopes of extracting fees from the ecosystem when people place large trades and there's large amounts of volatility going up or down. And so since that was approved, the Treasury wallet has raised about 17,000 AWR and 0.12 SOL out of it, which is roughly $30 to $40, depending on when you look at the chart. I'm making a note now to share out the Excel sheet that I have, which has transactions in it, and people can check them for, validity, making it more public, more transparent, more visible. And so this is good. We recently took a vote this week as well to do our first boost. We paid for a boost on DEX. The community wanted it. It was put to a vote. They wanted to see how it might impact our volume in the short term. And so Wes has been collecting some statistics on that. He can share if he likes. But overall, the liquidity wallet has been growing, the Treasury wallet has been growing through providing liquidity, which is exciting. And we'll continue to do so moving forward when there seems to be downwards trends or choppiness in the market. And otherwise, we'll let the AWR ride up in value. Or if the community would like me to stop, they can always bring it up, and we can stop it as well. So those are some of the updates on significant developments within the last week. I want to pause to see if anyone has any questions before I kind of talk about where I think we need to go in the future, what we need to focus on in the next couple months. And so I'm going to share out the mic to people. Wes, I think you requested it, so I'm going to invite you to speak. Does anyone else have any questions, or if they'd like to request anything, they can. Otherwise, Wes, do you have anything to say now?
No, I mean, I think that you're leading everything with what needs to be said right now. Obviously, I have a nice little list to go over, but we'll wait till that time comes.
Cool.
But yeah, I definitely like everything that you're iterating on right now, and where the vision is and all that stuff. So, but yeah, no, I'm good at the moment. But yeah, I definitely have a list of things to go over when the time is right.
All right. Awesome. And if anyone does want to request the mic, go ahead, request it. We'll get you the mic. I'll go ahead and kind of talk about where we are in space and time and where we really need to go. So if you look at our chart, it actually looks stronger than, when it was, I'm bringing it up, maybe at the beginning of March, right? So we're becoming more resilient to people dumping on us. We're trying to identify if there's patterns of people dumping on us. Honestly, even if there's probably not much we can do. But what I want to share is this chart from SPX, and I want to help provide some context into where we are. I'm going to go ahead and post it. I don't know how to. All right. So I'll try to find that while I'm chatting. So long term, the way the culture coin works, the way we're successful, is we spread our message outwardly in the real world. Consider ourselves like a movement of financial empowerment. We really need to focus ourselves long term on driving new liquidity from the 75 to 90% of the holders or of the people in the world that don't yet own crypto. And we can, also target people that own crypto. But it is these people who haven't yet partaken in crypto for a reason, and we need to understand them. And we need to give them a reason, which I think All Will Retire gives a great reason over Bitcoin, for example, to invest in us. But that reason starts with us. We are messengers. The way we humanize ourselves, the way we show ourselves to the world, the way we take pride in ourselves for both who we are as individuals, accepting each other, and saying we do have aspirations of a better financial future. And maybe we have to build it because others won't build it for us, or, people have fallen short, governments, organizations, whatever you want to say. But it is really important that we show this off to the world. We have the tools already available to us. We just need to utilize them. We'll start on Facebook. We'll start on TikTok. We'll start on Instagram. I understand people are looking at the short-term volume, looking at the chart. I understand you think we need to give reason to make the chart go up now. But honestly, there's a reason that these social media companies, these services are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. There's a reason that TikTok is going to be sold probably for an upwards of $100 billion. There's a reason that YouTube has, 3 billion monthly users, and Facebook has 3 billion monthly users, and YouTube has 2.5 billion, and Instagram has 2 billion monthly users. These networks allow for the rapid dissemination of information, allow for ideas to spread, allow for things to go viral, allow for movements to begin. So there's a reason I asked us to make all these signs, these videos of us showing ourselves off to the world. We are best equipped to connect with other individuals in the world, not by sitting behind profile pictures on X or sitting and reducing ourselves to the timelines or X timelines, but actually engaging the real world, real people, and providing them hope and aspirations. We don't need to sell AWR. We don't need to sell it in the sense that we need people to buy our token. Recently, today, we had someone feature us on their YouTube channel. They went out of their way to talk about us, and they're not even a holder of AWR. And they even offered to create an All Will Retire sign for us. And that's really the power of a culture coin. That's really important to consider, that even if someone isn't a holder, they see enough, they get enough. There's utility out of this community, out of this message, out of being able to hope and aspire to partake in it. And so if someone who was crypto inclined took the time out of their day to talk about us on his channel and share us to his followers and is willing to make us a sign, then we really need to embrace that and understand that and see this as a turning point, a pretty critical point in how we approach the problem of spreading our message. This summer, we really need to focus on hitting the socials on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. You don't need to sell crypto. You need to sell yourself. Take pride in yourself. Show the world who you are. Hold your signs. Let people be curious. You don't need to pressure people. They will come. They will be more curious as to why you're holding a sign and be more inclined to buying crypto in the future than if you went up to them and said, hey, buy this crypto. Let them know you found something important to you. Let them know that you believe in this and ask them to hold a sign with you. You don't even need to sell them crypto. Just be like, it's important to me, and you'll help the community and the project grow. Let them know that it's empowering you financially. Let them know that it's letting you be seen for who you are. This is a feel-good story. There's a lot of negative press stories, a lot of people that try to take each other down on the social medias. Good, wholesome stories with a good aspirational message will spread, will work. It will start slowly, right? Our socials on Instagram have been growing slowly. Our socials on Facebook will start growing slowly, but it will expand. It will grow further. And so this summer, we really need to start, from now probably through the summer, we really need to start attacking the socials, and we need to come up with a plan to raid the socials, right? We're doing a great job raiding on X and Telegram, but we need to start attacking the socials, raiding on that, and helping to spread the message, invite people to our socials. And so even if people don't buy an AWR right away, seeds will be planted and the curiosity will be there. Why are these people holding these signs? What is this that I'm seeing? And it will allow you to engage them in your local community later in this year when we start engaging there. You'll say, hey, I have this great project. I think you should check it out and come hold a sign. And they'll be like, what are you talking about? I don't see anything. But you'd be like, it's global. Everywhere. Come check out these socials of these people all around the world. Men, women, different creeds, different backgrounds, all building a movement together, financial empowerment. So we're going to come up with a plan to help us better understand how to engage socials. And so I know someone who is a social media manager for a company that I'm going to be engaging. But as I said, everyone is a developer here. If you have ideas, I want to hear them. Share it with the community. We're going to try to get our family to really focus its attention outwardly from X, outwardly from Telegram, and drive the long-term demand. And it's going to be hard work. But the demand that we do bring on from out in the real world is going to be the really sticky demand. It's going to be the people that aren't traders. It's going to be the people that are builders. They're going to be the ones that want to hold on to these messages of hope, of aspiring, of having a more secure financial future, by their own design. And they'll hold on to it close, and they'll help build it, and they'll help spread the message, as we have seen by this gentleman who took the time to talk about us today, even though he's not a holder in All World Retirement. I've talked about another thing I want to talk about. I've talked about in the past that it's really important that we improve our first impression of All World Retire. And we don't want anyone to be turned away from All World Retire from being able to explore it, right? For any reason. We'll respect people, absolutely, if they don't want to be part of All World Retire community, right? Our job here isn't to twist people's arms. But coming back to first impressions, we don't want anyone to feel like they can't take part in this community, in this movement, because they don't have basic financial knowledge, basic financial literacy, basic financial skills around saving or planning or understanding money. And it's a pretty big deal. We got Gen Z, late Gen Z, preparing to enter the workforce, and Gen A entering the workforce, or going to school to enter the workforce. And there's a lot of real moments about to approach these individuals around money. So what I have proposed to some community members right now is that we put together a team to explore how we might be able to disseminate information around financial literacy, financial planning, savings, retirement. The goal isn't to reinvent the wheel here, but it's to provide enough utility for people to educate them, to say, hey, I see this global movement around financial empowerment, around financial security. I don't know how to do it. I don't think I can be part of it, but oh wait, look, they got like this library, this knowledge base of information that they share out into the world. And the way we will share it is through the way people engage in social media already. We'll do quick hits, quick reels on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, right? We're exploring accounts right now on people that currently share this information. And we're going to try to essentially mimic them. What's been successful, what hasn't been successful, right? And so So this is all in hopes of removing any hesitation from someone joining our community because they don't feel like they know how to obtain, how to plan for a future, financially secure themselves. And so it's not set in stone that we'll do this yet, but it's the exploratory phase because All Will Retire, provides the emotional utility. We should try to build up as many utility use cases as we can while trying to stay away from the large expenditures that, traditional tech alts, utility altcoins have had to expend or, needing to organize highly skilled labor. That's not what culture coins are about. So we're going to try to provide more utility in that sense moving forward and explore that route at least. And we'll come up with our findings and we'll put together a potential plan and we'll share it with the community and see if they want to vote on it. Because as I said, the liquidity, the long-term holders comes out in the real world. We got to develop the use cases for them to take part of our community to stay here long-term. So I want to pause for a moment. I think that's kind of what I have to share. I want to make sure people have time to ask questions, do a Q&A, ask about our community, ask about plans, provide criticisms too, right? We appreciate that. That's how we know we're hitting the mark. And in terms of work kind of this week, next week is kind of more administrative work now that we got the website and the merch store up. And so there's some tasks that I got to do in the background, but I have asked community members to help step up and help drive at least the exploration of how we might be able to provide more knowledge-based utility around financial planning, financial literacy, which I think will resonate well long-term, considering a lot of the world doesn't yet have even basic financial functions or bank accounts for whatever reasons. I think we can do outreach out in the real world that way as well. So this is now the time. If you'd like to chat, say hi, introduce yourself, ask questions, provide criticisms, provide support, love. I'd love to hear. And so I'm going to go ahead and let Wes speak first since he's already a speaker, but please raise your hand or request the mic if you would also like to chat.
What's up, everyone?
Hey, how's it going, Wes?
Great, Chris. How about yourself?
It's another day. We're doing good. We're cruising. We're going.
Definitely. So first thing I'll say is thank you to everyone who is here. Thank you for everyone that's, grinding day in and day out. And obviously a special thanks to HLS Crypto for his awesome YouTube that he put out on us. Definitely like the mixture of your content. Like I said, it had me laughing immediately when the whole Ferrari thing came up. I was just like, oh man, it hit right on point with me. Very good. Love the content. Thanks again. So I don't even know if it's really the right time to go over all the specific things like gathering all the short-term data. I know that you are talking about everything long-term wise, and I know a lot of people are addressing what can we do in the short term to improve volume and that sort of thing.
This is the right time. This isn't my chat.
Okay.
This is your chat.
Okay.
This is everyone else's chat. It's
all right.
It's open. Let's
we'll
chat.
we'll hit on a few things that we've done already this week that we've improved on. Like I say, we keep evolving every day. Anybody that's here in the chat, anybody that's I guess there's only a few people here in the chat, but I was going to say that anytime you have any kind of questions at all, do not hesitate. We are open to constructive criticism. Yeah. We want to hear what we can do to, make us better. We're all in this learning process together. And yeah, that's another reason why I love being here, because it's a constant evolution of what's going on, paying attention to the market sentiment. So it's just, it's exciting these times. Like I say, we're in the middle of the weird part where it's like, but we have a plan. We've been executing on them. And I'm just glad that all of the, all of our members and all of our community are contributing in some sort of way to figure out, what's the next move for us to go in. That being said, the Facebook, we obviously got a Facebook page finally up and running. I know that you have the All Will Retire page, Chris, and then we have the Balkans page as well. Today I took some time to hop on Facebook and find other crypto communities that have like a large following on Facebook. That's one thing I've never looked into. I've never looked into, crypto on Facebook. So I decided to take a little dive into that. I didn't have a whole bunch of time, but I did find that there was like 5 different large crypto communities with like 7,000, 20,000, 10,000 and so followers. So I sent all of those invites to both your account, Chris, and the Balkans account. So when you do hop on Facebook, you're going to see probably like 5 invites from me. Those are legitimate invites. Don't think they're spam. Those are accounts that, we probably need to be following and posting in.
Okay.
Because there is a lot of followers there. I just happened to look up SPX. Obviously, we know SPX is something that is, we embody ourselves with them. Those types of people are the types of people we want to attract. Those are true believers, holders. So that's kind of like what I did a search on. I just did like a search on SPX, and then I had all these little things pop up in Facebook. And that's how I ended up finding these accounts that have, 10,000, 15,000 followers. Obviously, it speaks widely on cryptocurrency, but I just was specifically doing a search for SPX and trying to find communities that were speaking about them. So I think that's a big, another avenue for us that we haven't tapped into yet.
So that's great that you share that. So I will go look at those. And so this is what I'm talking about. Like earlier, like we need to improve our rating in the sense that we can push our message outwardly for both the long-term demand, but even it sounds like on these platforms, right, there's ways to still reach maybe that more short-term demand, those traders that, as I said, we will always want traders here. People won't be able to retire if we don't have traders and liquidity exchanging hands. So we can make that part of our, kind of new rating guide for these new social platforms as well. So that's great that you found those. I'll check those out.
Awesome. Much appreciated. Yeah. Like I say, anything that we could take advantage of that doesn't cost us anything but time. I mean, that's the best thing, right? Like we can, obviously time is money, however you want to look at it, it is. But, at the same time, we're not having to fork money out to other people by doing these things, expanding through social media, because obviously I know we had a few people in our Telegram that didn't have X, or they're in some other part of the world. And I was surprised to hear that I think it was Russia that doesn't have Facebook, and they use some other type of social media or whatever. And I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe that there was a girl that was in our Telegram that was from Russia that did not have Facebook, and then I ended up connecting with her on TikTok.
Okay.
So that's another situation, right? We might be limited and not getting eyes on us because X isn't in China, and I'm not saying it's not. If it could be worldwide, I'm just throwing that out there. But there's different social medias for different countries and different parts of the world that maybe aren't getting seen yet because we're just not there yet. So I think that doing the Facebook page was definitely a step forward, and hopefully you guys can get the one-click trick figured out. And for those of you that don't know or wondering what the one-click trick is, essentially I know you can put one post like on TikTok, for instance, and it connects it to Facebook in the same time, or it might be Instagram and Facebook. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't done it myself, but I do know that you can post within numerous social medias, with a press of a button, and obviously that saves time. It just goes back to a lot of people out there want something they could just click one time.
Yeah.
Not only for users that are trying to find AWR and let's say buy AWR, that's another thing that's obviously difficult for some people is that you have to open up a Phantom wallet, then you have to purchase Solana, then you have to transfer your Solana. So there's a lot of steps. And I know that we've spoke about doing a video so where we could show people that. And I know we've obviously got our little thing in Telegram that makes it easier for people that may not be inclined to opening a Phantom wallet. I haven't used that particular app myself that we have in Telegram, but I know we brought it there for a reason, and people said they have used it and have had success, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Facebook thing, let's see. Okay, well, I guess we'll get on to stats of short-term growth and what everybody brings up all the time. Win listing, guys. Win listing, guys, right? We see it all the time. Random people jump in the Telegram, but they've never had any iterations as to why we should be on CMC. So I decided to take a deep dive into CoinMarketCap and to try to find out, like, what is the big deal? Obviously, it seems like it's a trust issue with certain people around the world, I'm assuming. But what I did find is that CoinMarketCap does have its own community. I don't know if anybody has looked that deep into it. Maybe that's something we've completely overlooked. Maybe this is something as to why people are bringing it up. And they just haven't iterated on that, which is crazy to me. But after doing some research, going to the community on CMC, it much looks like a Telegram or an X, more like an X, I would say, a Twitter style, where people are allowed to post on the coin. They have emojis for you to like it. It has a bearish and bullish rating. So if you are verified on CoinMarketCap, you can type in your ticker symbol. Your ticker symbol pops right up. And then on the right, you have a complete, like, it almost looks like an X account. You can easily take a look there and see what I'm talking about, but it only does it for certified coins. So this is another thing that Chris and I had been discussing, that, it seems like, okay, well, maybe there is more of a reason to, utilize some of our funds to get to CMC. So I wanted to bring that up to you guys and just put that out there for you to think about it. Maybe you could take a look on CoinMarketCap yourselves and see if that is another reason that maybe we could be missing some short-term growth, because there is talk about coins on there. And the only way that you're allowed to post on the timeline is if it's a certified token, which we are not. So you can't type in AWR symbol and have this stuff pop up. Like I said, I don't know how large this community is. I haven't had a whole lot of time to research it. But the few things that I have looked up, that's what I have found. I have found that there is a Twitter style community that belongs to CoinMarketCap, and you can shill your token. You can talk about your token. You can rate it just like you can on Dex Screener, where you've got the rockets, except for theirs is a bearish and bullish chart or graph, whatever you want to call it. It's a meter. It looks like a meter, actually, is what I should say. But anyway, yeah, that's the thing on CMC, guys. So, maybe we have another vote on that. Like I said, anybody that's ever asked about when we are listing has never brought that to our attention. So I don't know, if I'm just speaking like it's nonsense or if it actually is something super important, because like Chris and I were mentioning, that maybe CoinMarketCap is a worldwide thing, and it's reaching audience that we are not able to reach with our current media that we have.
Yeah. So let's see here. Is it owned by Binance? So I'm trying to figure that out. So yeah, so it's very important. I think two things here that we need to highlight. So there's a community wallet, and it's here to help grow AWR. And as we say, everyone is a developer at AWR. Be biased towards action. Don't ask for permission go grow AWR in the way you best see fit. With that being said, if you can articulate your plans and you need help funding your mission, funding your idea for growing AWR, we would love to potentially fund it. All we really need, though, is we need it articulated to us why and how this will help grow AWR. It can be grow AWR in the short term. There's nothing wrong with short-term demand. It could be grow AWR in the long term. There's nothing wrong with that too. It could be you set up a sticker shop wherever you are and you go slap AWR stickers on every stop sign you see in the world from here on out for the rest of your time. That's cool. But it's really important that when we expend our resources, that we can articulate and understand and justify why we think these resources will be well spent. Note that even if we expend our resources and it doesn't work, doesn't go according to plan, that's okay. That's not a failure. You know, it's data for us to collect and reflect and refine how we expend resources in the future. But making sure we can well articulate it is super important. And so that's what Wes has done. We've been trying to understand really what the CoinMarketCap listing will unlock. You know, I don't want us to think that we are any less legitimate of a tokenized community because we haven't paid the $5,000 fee.
Exactly.
Now, given what
I love it, Chris.
Yeah, like we are already a legitimate community. Anyone who tells us we aren't, you know, they are not the ones that validate us. They are not the ones here that are building because it matters to them. We are the ones that are in charge of our success and our own fate. With that being said, what Wes and we have found, what we explored is that, yeah, I think in general, CoinMarketCap may look like more of a, more of a higher level community gathering with some, I guess, community-based features like X, like Twitter, where people can comment on the coins. But what we did notice as well is that they have this integrated DEX scan tool that shows stats that, you know, when we go up, when we pump or whatever, it shows a lot of people looking at it, upwards of 15,000 So here's kind of my take, my impression is that CoinMarketCap, I do not necessarily believe will unlock a lot of new liquidity. What I think it will do is it will make liquidity that we do drive through CoinMarketCap stickier. But what it might do is it might increase the amplitude, the moves upwards, right? So if it's, you know, without CoinMarketCap, we're doing like a 1x, you know, move upwards, it might make it like a 1.2x, 1.3x move upwards on CoinMarketCap. Now, I don't have any data to support that, but just from what I've observed within the crypto space recently, that's probably what it might do. So again, coming back to it, we should take a vote on it and we should take a plan, come up with a plan on how to finance it, right? We can do donations and stuff. I will most certainly help finance it out on my own personal wallet. But it's important to know that whether we finance it all tomorrow through a generous donator, or, you know, it takes 2 months for us to finance it without, you know, burning all our funds in the treasury wallet, we won't be late. As I said, I don't think it's going to unlock a bunch of new liquidity. I think it really makes some liquidity stickier and it increases the amplitudes of some moves upwards, right? So we won't be late, but we got to figure out a way to finance it too. And it's a pretty penny. And, you know, the fact that this community can get together in a decentralized way and kind of self-organize and drive change thus far is really big. And I know we can do this, but it will take time for us to get there. So we'll come up with a plan. I'll write a proposal. We'll take a vote on it, and we'll get it going. We'll get the ball rolling on this.
Yes, I do know. That's definitely well said. I do know that it is definitely. We've discussed it before. It's $5,000. We've had the discussion. Can $5,000 right now be utilized in a better manner than utilizing it on CMC? For those of you who haven't heard us speak on this before, we always try to do the thumbs up thing, right? I'm sure you guys have seen in the Telegram, when we do the daily task thing, right? There is no doubt they have shut it down at times. Like 100%, they will not allow you to give it a thumbs up. That is it's unfortunate, but seriously, it's like they just want you to fork out the money. That's the bottom line. And this has happened numerous times over the past couple months, because literally I've been doing this every single day. And there's days that literally it does not increase one single number. So there's no doubt that it is, they're all about the money. It's unfortunate, but that's the situation. So again, guys, if we think CMC is very important, please do a little research and bring some solid info to the table in the Telegram as to why we should go through with it. But Chris and I are definitely finding, I would say, more pros to it than we initially thought in the beginning. I definitely agree that it could bring some short-term stuff. I wouldn't say it's going to, don't expect us to be on CMC and then to go to 15 mil market cap again. That's not going to happen, right? But I do think that some of the people who, even these random people that just post in Telegram when listing, you know what? Maybe because we are listed, they do buy in at that point, because that's all they care about, and I don't have that mindset. As far as that goes, I do deeper research than just understanding it's, on one particular, exchange. Mm-hmm. But, so I do think it definitely is showing some more positives than initially, investigating. So that's what I want to say about that. I know that HL is got the mic too. I still got some more things to speak on, but please do, man. If you want to say something right now, do not hesitate.
I don't know if you can hear me very well. Can you hear me okay? Or
yeah, absolutely, great.
Thanks for joining these spaces.
No, it's a pleasure to be here, to be honest. And it's great hearing all your plans and what you're trying to do is really important. So the reason I've come on here is because someone asked me how I found that all will retire, the whole community and things like that. It was basically because of you guys. So you've all been posting, you've been working really hard, and I think as a result of that, it does spark interest and more people see things. And the harder you shill and raid, and I know a lot of the time raid's really hard because you sometimes think that no one's seeing it, but people are seeing it, and that's what led me to you. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I've started from virtually zero. I literally had zero subscribers on YouTube. I started my YouTube channel in July 2023, all about crypto, and it came from organic growth. I've not had the luxury of sponsors, and I haven't got $50,000 worth of Solana in a little wallet that I can start throwing around, things like that. Yeah. So it is down to you guys. You've done really, really well to be on people's radars, and I'm no big YouTuber by any stretch. I've gone from 0 subscribers to nearly 5,600 now, and I'm proud of that. It's organic, but the reason why you are growing the way you are is because you've done it in the organic way, which is hard in crypto, because a lot of the time you're dealing with people who are sponsored, and a lot of people have got a lot of money, marketing budgets, things like that. So to go against them is really, really important. And I really love the fact that you're so organic. And when it came across my radar, I was like, wow, this is really interesting. I wanted to find out more about it. I think, from a YouTube point of view for yourselves, I know you've got a YouTube channel, and it isn't got numerous amounts of subscribers yet. But the thing is that whether you can do that, I don't know if it's possible, because I know how hard it is. I've got a job myself. I work for the NHS over in the UK, so I work in a hospital. I know it's difficult to do daily uploads and things like that. It is time consuming. It is so difficult to do. But the more YouTube videos you put out, I think the better it'll be, because I think YouTube's accessible to a lot more people around the world. But I think you make a really good point as well by saying that most people are not even involved in crypto right now. So that's how new this is as a sector, not only as a project. So there's a lot of time where these influxes of people are going to come in, and if the harder you work and the more you put yourselves on the radar, the more chance people are going to be buying all will retire over other coins. And I think that's really interesting. Your community seems really, really good, very welcoming. I've felt at home from minute one, so I really appreciate that. And all your support as well has been immense. With regards to listings and stuff like that, I know it's difficult to do, and I know it's hyper expensive, more expensive than people really think. And yeah, it helps to onboard people because they've got a lot more people have got ways to buy it, but it is also a very expensive process and it does take time. So, I wouldn't worry overly about listings right now. If you're building your bags in something that hasn't got a listing yet, then you already put yourself in a very good position. But yeah, they are obviously easy to onboard. And with regards to making a sign, 100%, I'll be making a sign and I'll give it to you guys. You can do with that what you want. It does mean a lot to me. I've got work. I've got night shifts all over the weekend, 12-hour night shifts, so I'm not going to be available. But I will definitely create one, and yeah, you feel free to edit that how you want. But I just want to say hello and like kind of touch base with everyone and thank you all for your support as well. Since the video launched, it's massively heartwarming. And yeah, I'm not a holder of All Will Retire yet, basically because I can't afford to be at the minute. I just don't have the funds, but I absolutely will do the minute I do get funds in order to buy some, because I'm really bullish on it, and I'm happy to be part of the community. So thank you very much.
I just want to take a moment and thank you for both the encouraging words, the heartwarming words, and again, making your time available to us today. Like, it sounds like you're incredibly busy. And, as I mentioned in one of our videos, what retirement is, like, time is the only commodity, the most precious commodity that we have. And so the fact that you aren't the holder yet, but you're taking time to engage with us, you're willing to create a sign, is really special, really, really meaningful, really powerful statement to us. And it's really good. I think it's going to be great. I'm going to clip this part and share the feedback about the rating. It can be hard. I get it. Rating all the time, or doing the little things that we talk about. This is what we talk about. We don't want to chart watch. We don't want to price watch, because there's things that we can't control. What we can control is our actions, what we do every day to execute. And look, the proof is now in the pudding. HLS Crypto has taken the time to come on out of his day twice today, make the video of us and speak with us here to talk about how our posting is working, how we are capturing people's attention, and we're getting better at it. I think that's what's important. Like, when we first started as a community, like rating on X, it was like, okay, who do we rate? Oh, these KOLs and stuff, these influencers. But, it kind of took our efforts, our energy away more from our ethos of organic growth, organic marketing, humanizing ourselves, showing ourselves to the world. Again, organic doesn't necessarily mean not promoting, but within crypto Twitter, we shouldn't. It's just going to be that short-term traders. It's really pushing our message outwardly on YouTube, as Crypto says, where we want to spread our message of people holding the sign and stuff. And, as he said, like, as a sector, so many people aren't involved in crypto yet. But it's really powerful to hear both that our efforts haven't gone unnoticed, our consistency, why we keep showing up every day to build something that matters to us, that inspires others and makes people bullish on us, right? And if we can make people bullish on us within crypto Twitter, then we can make people bullish on us outside of crypto Twitter. Maybe they don't understand the words bull posting, rating, what it means to be bullish, but their hearts will speak to them when they can resonate with real humans, be seen for who they are, be able to self-express and find a global community. This isn't going to happen overnight, but we are doing it. We are in the messy middle. We are in the part where most people might quit because they don't understand that they're on a path, but even if they don't know what to do in the immediate time, that they're on a path, and because there's ambiguity, because there's this fog in front of them, that they quit. They'd rather be comfortable doing something instead of being bold, doing something different. They'd rather adapt to the world than making the world adapt to them. And that's what we're going to do. And it's going to take time, but we will get there. Again, a little context. I think from March of 2024 to like September or October of 2024, SPX traded within like a 2 million to 20 million range for like 8 months straight before they broke out. I'm hoping we break out before. I'm not saying we will, but I'm saying the work we're doing is going to make us break out. The work we're doing is going to inspire people. The work we're doing is going to capture new liquidity, new retail people outside of crypto Twitter. Our message was built ground up for real people with real emotions and real aspirations in the world. And it now takes us as builders, not traders, as builders, to do something for ourselves because we care about it, and to share that message with others because they'll care about it too when they're seen for who they are, when they're accepted for who they are, when they can find global community, when they can be a part of a movement, when they can feel financially empowered and moved to be the architects of their lives. That's what will matter. You're exactly right, Crypto. We are trying to figure out how to better engage with our YouTube. And so that's why I asked the community, about 6 weeks ago to start generating the content, get used to the content of the signs, of the videos showing our passions, talking about why AWR is important for them. And we plan, as I said, we wrote an article called Flooding the Airwaves with Our Humanity, and that's what we plan on doing. And we will continue to iterate on build up plans where we can formalize that and execute on that better. But again, thank you for being here and sharing with us. We really appreciate the kind words. That's super kind.
No, I really appreciate it. What you're doing is absolutely unbelievable. Even, building your YouTube, you've got so many others, but I can't focus on anything other than YouTube. So I've got a very small X following. I don't have an Instagram, don't have a TikTok. I just don't have the time. So I understand how much you're definitely putting into this. And I've always said to my subscribers and things like that the most important currency you'll ever have in the world is time.
Yeah.
So that does resonate with me massively because, we never know how much time we've got. There's never a wallet saying how much time you have, and is anyone's more valuable than anyone else's, because at the end of the day, when time runs out, it runs out.
Yep.
So that's the biggest commodity you can possibly have. And the fact that you're all putting in so much effort, like, I really want you all to succeed. I want you to do really, really well. I think the project will do. And again, like I said before, when you get that new influx of people coming in, the what crypto people like to say is, retail coming in,
yes.
They will come in and they will resonate with things like this, because if you look at GameStop, if you look at SPX 6900, you're right, they traded at absolutely zero near enough. It was really a long flat line, and all of a sudden, bang. And this can happen to you too, and I generally think it will, and I hope it does, because you seem like a genuine bunch of people. I really love your community, and at any point during the progression phase as we go along the bull run and things like that, I'll happily keep coming back and redoing videos and doing more videos about you, because I think it's important to definitely spread that message. And All Will Retire is a brilliant message itself, because I think the ultimate goal for everyone in crypto is to retire. And retire might not be, you don't work anymore, but it could mean that, you've got that freedom. And I think freedom's important, and crypto could be that vehicle to get everybody that level of freedom that we don't normally see, because most of us are going to be stuck working for 30, 40, 50 years, just hoping that retirement's going to pay enough for us to live. Whereas if you can do something really good, get a big community, then you can live
Yes.
now when you're still at that age to be able to do that. And I think that's really important. I think AWR, the message is brilliant, and I'm fully behind you.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah. So again, thank you for the kind, positive words. Yeah. So I designed All Will Retire to be, you know, it's in the name, you know, it's all inclusive. Will is affirmative, and retire, it's like the dream. And it's really important that we take advantage of kind of the global societal mind share capture of what retirement means already. So much money has been spent by governments, by societies, by cultures and media to already explain what retirement is and why it's so important, why it's so amazing. People want to retire. You're exactly right. And what we say here is when people come in and say, hey, how will this retire me? We say, well, you tell us. We're not here to tell you what retirement is. Retirement is something different than everyone. And so by leaving it open-ended and being inclusive, where, you know, maybe you do want that Lambo, or maybe you just want like a little cabin in the forest where you can read all day. That's great. I support that. We have a community for you for whatever your vision of retirement is. We're in this together. We support everyone's ideas of financial security and retirement. So again, we're so happy you're here. We appreciate it. Thanks for making yourself part of the community. Let us know how we can help you. You know, really it's about lifting individuals up, right? And as I said, you don't need to be a holder in All Will Retire to get the support of the family. And that's what's really important. Inviting everyone and helping people just as we are. So again, thank you.
Absolutely. I want to thank this gentleman too, man. He's been just had me smiling all day, and just hearing him speak on this and how he found out about us makes me want to bring up the next thing, because we were definitely, you know, like I say, we're going back to like what can we do in the short term, you know, what do we want to try to do to engage more transactions as of right now through this, you know, lull period, if that's what you want to call it. So this gentleman said that he saw that we were rating. Okay. So this brings me to, you know, it's unfortunate we don't have as many raters as I would like to have. And people, I know that everybody that's here right now can definitely speak on this. There's a couple of really diehards out there that are just, you know, showing up day in and day out. But they're still just, in my opinion, not enough, which brings me to hiring raters. Now, here's the whole thing about me thinking about this. If we were to hire raters, they would have to speak genuinely on AWR. That's how we have attracted the people we already have, right? Because we have a genuine message to each person. We're not just putting in a ticker symbol with a rocket and that's it. Like, that's not going to do us any good. So I don't really think that if we were to utilize any kind of money for somebody doing something like that, that it's going to be beneficial. I mean, maybe minutely, okay? Because I guess any presence is better than no presence, but obviously engaging, which is what All Will Retire is all about. We're all about trying to build relationships, connecting with people. And every single time I do a raid, I'm always reading the context of whatever their message is. I'm not just attacking some random KOL because they have 200,000 followers. Like, I want their message, whatever they're posting. I want to be able to meet that context with how I can incorporate All Will Retire into their message. That's how I seek out, you know, specific people that I raid. And then obviously, you know, how old is the post is another big thing. Like, you're going to get more eyes on posts that happen within 5 minutes. I know I've spoke about this before, but I'll bring it up again just in case, you know, people that maybe new or want to raid, maybe want to get involved in finding their own people to raid. Definitely the newer the post, the more eyes we will get to be able to engage. So going back to the hiring raiders thing, I would really like to see what people would think about this idea. if we were to find, let's say we do find a perfect group of 15 people that are like, yes, we can post exactly what you want us to post. Because there is just a certain amount of downtime. It just sucks. That's how I feel about it. It's like, man, there might be like 2 or 3 hour span, and there's not one thing that's been posted. And it's like, that is definitely like a little bit disappointing. And like I say, it's, being that we have over 4,000 holders, obviously we've had a great impact, but the true diehard people that are in Telegram, we just don't have enough of them, in my opinion. And so I'm kind of thinking that if we try to utilize some of these short-term things, which I'll bring up the next one, in attracting more transactions to happen, that if, because I honestly found All Will Retire through Win All Day on YouTube. But I was already a crypto holder. So I wasn't somebody who is just, out in the random world. I definitely knew about crypto. I was holding some other coins. And so that's how I ended up finding out about All Will Retire. But I guess what I'm saying is that I was already somewhat crypto inclined when I came across All Will Retire, and it resonated with me so big with the narrative, and then getting into the Telegram and finding out how awesome some of these people are. Just immediately it felt like I was making real life connections, which is, what we represent. So I guess what I'm going back to is that if we hire raiders to engage more, we might attract more. I'm not saying that's a guarantee, but maybe if we do somehow utilize spending something on getting more transactions to happen, then it will get more eyes on our project, and you will find those people. Like I say, this is going to the short term. We know what the long term thing needs to happen, but obviously people want to see short term stuff, and short term things do lead into long term holders. I'm a perfect example. Yeah. Because I was looking to short term stuff. I belonged in freaking, what the hell is the one that Gordon went crazy on? The Butthole coin. Butthole, right? He shielded it. I trust me. If anybody knows who Alcord Gordon is, obviously he is a big influencer. He blows up these coins that he mentions. But obviously I'm sure he's paid a shit ton of money to do it. But that's how I found out about a coin. And that's so, I guess my point is that, a guy who's just looking to make a flip can easily find something that they resonate with. That was me. I was looking to make a quick come up on Butthole. I wasn't planning on staying in that coin for months. It was something I was going to try to make a 2 or 3x on. And that goes into the whole story about how I got scammed, and it wasn't Butthole. I totally screwed that all up as a somewhat rookie of meme coins, and connected my wallet, and boom, my tokens were gone. But that's a whole nother story. But that goes back to what I'm trying to iterate, is that I think we can generate, some long-term holders, even through the short-term type of things that we could utilize, like possibly hiring raiders. So that's another thing I wanted to bring up. I'm not saying that's something we're going to do, but I think it's something the community should definitely think about. I know that Lauren is in here, Ophi's in here, Mario's in here, Sandy. These guys are all diehard raiders. Maj, I see you. Is Talk, I see all you guys. Everybody. The people that are here right now are a lot of hardcore people that are raiding day in and day out. And we definitely, we need more help. I think it's a way, maybe, I don't know. We definitely need to look into it. It's something we need to look into. How much does it cost? What type of people are going to be raiding? How long do they do it for? Those types of things. So then the other thing that we were talking about, it was brought to our attention by another guy on our Telegram, the Cherry Bot trending. Okay, so we tried a boost earlier this week, right? Here's the information I gathered from the boost. I know that I talked to Chris about it. I'm sorry if I'm changing volumes here, but I had to walk out of the room because my son was about to get crazy. I told Mom, I'm like, come on, Mom, I got a meeting here. Let me get this handled. Okay, let me get situated here. Let me go back into our Telegram. Give me one moment. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So we ran the boost on Deck Screener. And the thing about that is we did the boost when the market sentiment was starting to rise. It was the first day. What was it, like the day before yesterday, right?
Yep.
Things were going green. We said, hey, let's try to do this and see what kind of momentum we can keep, right? Because momentum is everything, in my opinion. Like, momentum is huge. When something has momentum and it's going, it's like you want to strike when the iron's hot. There's a reason, there's a saying, and that we want to utilize that. But the one thing, it does make it difficult to gauge, like, for instance, I'm looking at today, right? Today, our transaction numbers are way down from that particular day. But I can't say that, oh, well, that little $99 boost gave us all this new engagement. It could have just been purely because the market that day was more active, because there was a lot of stuff being green, right? The research that I did do did tell me, just looking from previous hours, because I did look at the previous hours compared to after we boosted, it definitely seemed to have engaged more new buyers. Now, none of these buyers were large buyers by any means, but they were buyers. A couple of them were definitely bots, that were buying, $10 or whatever, because you could see the trading happening. I was tracking wallets, looking when they would buy and sell. So it looked like they definitely attracted a couple of bots. But there definitely was a uptick in new buyers compared to the previous hours that I had looked at. So that's something to definitely think about. The $99 boost seemed to engage more new buyers. Now, are they still holders? That's one thing I haven't looked at. I didn't copy the wallet and decide to go look at it 3 days later. That probably is something maybe we should do in the future if we do decide that that's a route we want to try to attempt again. But again, it's hard to judge because the market was definitely doing better on that day that we launched it. But I definitely would like to, obviously get all your input on it and, have another vote. Do we want to try it again? Do we want to try it on a day like today where the transaction numbers are way down? In the last 24 hours, I think, I'm not in front of my computer at the moment, but I think there was 300 and some odd transactions. So obviously very low volume. Obviously the lower the transactions are, the less eyes that are on us, right? So I think it's just about attracting eyes, getting it on us. So that's definitely something to think about. Let's see here. And then the cherry trending one. We got the pros and cons of this one. Okay.
Yeah. Let's
so somebody in our Telegram had brought up, hey, check out cherry trending, blah, 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 blah. Right. I had no clue what it was. He's like, it's 2.9 SOL, which is what, it's almost $400. And I believe it's for a 3-hour boost. I can actually look at the numbers here. I copied it somewhere. Give me another second and I'll tell you exactly what it is, how much it is. Let's see. Okay. 2.9 SOL for a 3-hour period that puts you in the top 15. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I did open the CherryBot trending. It's a Telegram app. And so I opened that up. And what I can tell you about that is that it essentially posts, let me see how far apart these are. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like there has been 6 posts in the last 20 minutes. There's been 6 posts on, excuse me for a second. All right, Vincent. Let's say bye to my son. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Take your time. Family first.
All right, babe. I'll see you in a bit. Bye, Daddy. Thanks, babe. I'll see you in a bit. All right, I'll head back into my computer now. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so there's been 6 posts in the last 20 minutes on this cherry trending app on Telegram that shows different coins, where their market cap is, what the percentage it is, up or down, and so on. So cherry trending, let me go back here. to my notes. Okay, regarding cherry trending, this is what I put. There is a majority of new launches. Okay, so a majority of the coins on this particular site is new launches. It seems that most are a day old or less. It definitely is full degen mode. So if you guys aren't particular with degens, it's degenerates, like gambling, a high amount of gambling. Okay. They also list scam coins. I took a look at a few of the coins on there. A couple of them were scams. It's clear. If you're any kind of a person who's been in the trenches for a few minutes and looked at some of these coins, how they rug, you could clearly see, or how the growth looks on the chart. Like if it just keeps going up little by little by little by little, you can pretty much guarantee it's probably not a legit coin. It's a scam.
Yeah.
So these are cons on this, right? Let's see. Looked at a few of them and had rugged completely with unrealistic looking. Okay, so yeah, that was my notes. Basically, I also looked. It says also they list scam coins for sure. I looked at a few and some had rugged completely with unrealistic looking charts. Okay, so that was like the cons of the cherry trending. Now the pros. There's almost 900,000 members. Okay, now I can't tell you if these are bots. I don't know, but looking, so okay, there's almost 900,000 members there. I looked up 10 different coins and they all had tons of transactions happening. But again, that is likely because they are new launches. Yeah. As I did look deeper, there was a few coins I did come across. One, I believe, was 6 months old. Let me see here. Yes, so there was a coin on there that was 6 months old. It was at a $3.5 million market cap. And in the last hour, they had almost 6,000 transactions, okay. Which is insane, right? That's like that's crazy to me. I was blown away by that. So there is no doubt in my mind that cherry trending is attracting eyes and a shit ton of traders. Let's see. There was another one I looked at. Let's see. This one was 6 months. I think there was a bit over a month old. So what I'm getting at is it wasn't just a bunch of new launches. I would say if I was to gauge the percentage, I would probably say like 80%, 75 to 80% new launches, 20 to 25% older coins. So there's definitely older coins that are being listed on there that look like they were getting a high amount of volume regarding it being there. But like I said, I couldn't look at the volume from previous days before they went on to cherry trending to see how much their volume had actually increased. So these are things like, there's just no way to really look at that, looking at like a couple days prior. And the other thing is too, I don't know how long they've been utilizing cherry trending. I mean, some of these guys might have been doing it for the last week. There's no way to tell that information.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I got from the cherry bot thing, guys. This could be another thing that we could utilize again. This is, in the upwards of around $400 for 3 hours. Is it worth it? Or are we better off spending $400 towards hiring some raiders for a couple days? And I have no idea. I'm just throwing out these numbers. I know the cherry bot thing, obviously it says 2.9 SOL. So that's why I'm saying around $400. And I have no ideas what raiders would cost or what these groups of raiders cost, how long they do it for and all that sort of stuff. But again, guys, I'm just throwing this stuff out there so that way you can kind of get an idea of how much money would need to be spent to do something like this. Do we think that there is something better that we could do with the same amount of money or less, obviously?
Yeah.
Let's see. I think that was it. I think that was all the info I had on the cherry bot stuff. Like I said, I just want to bring up a lot of these different short-term ideas because, the short-term, like I said, can generate some long-term stuff. It's not our ultimate goal with attacking, I don't want to say attacking, but, getting people outside in the regular world, retail, so to speak, into all will retire. That's definitely, our long-term goal.
Yeah.
But we can definitely get people from the short term into all will retire that I think can become long-term holders, because I was that guy. So that's why I know that, that is definitely another thing out there. So getting some eyes, like I say, if we were able to get 3,000 transactions in a 6-hour period from going on Cherry Trending, how many people in those transactions do you think that we might be able to hold because they decided to look a little deeper into All Will Retire? They see photos of us, it's bringing them to our page. We might be able to get a demographic of people that have never even heard about us. And then because we go on to one of these trendings or one of these boosts, they come across our site, they see these sign holders and they're like, what the hell's going on here? Right? Because nobody's doing anything like we're doing. So, that's another reason why I want to bring it up. So that these are just another idea of something we can utilize for the short term. Definitely want all of your feedback, guys, and please don't be afraid to speak up here on it as well, or just bring it up in Telegram so we can all vote on it. You know how Chris does it. We're all the dev of this project. We vote for what we want to do, and that's why I'm trying to gather as much information for you guys, so it makes it easier for you to be like, yep, you know what? These were the pros of it, and I think it's a good idea. Let's follow through. So hopefully I can help you guys make an easier decision, because I'm bringing some analysis to the table regarding these things. Let's see what else.
So this is great, Wes. I want to say, I think, two things. So first off, make sure you guys and gals take care of yourself. This is not your job. This is your passion. I've been here since December 5th, and I am exhausted. It can be hard raiding all day. It can be hard checking the socials all day. It can be hard trying to make connections. It can be hard, draining, exhausting. Take care of yourselves. It's okay to take breaks. Remember, All Will Retire is meant to fit your life. If, hiring raiders for a week and let people kind of take a break, okay. Recharge your batteries. Come back in time. It's okay if you don't want to raid all day or help us grow all day. Again, make sure this is your passion, not your job. Kind of coming back to paying for whether raids or shills or cherry bots. So this is excellent information, Wes. Thank you. When I've engaged with people who offer services, it's been hard to get clarity on exactly what those services are and how long they offer those services for how much money. Often it's, hey, give me 500 sol and my team of raiders will send this to the moon. And it's just not clear what the fuck that means. Besides, they'll try to send us to a moon, probably take our money and, maybe raid for a day or two, etc. So it sounds like, just from kind of that perspective on what Wes just shared, compared to like Cherry Trending, which is more of like an automated thing. You dump some money and it's already automated and they just post you and then there's eyes, right? I'm much more inclined to consider something, it sounds like Cherry Trending, just based on the numbers as well, than paying people for ambiguous services. But here's what I would say we should consider if we want to go down this route, is think of this as a tool and understanding when best to employ it. As we talked about, our resources are limited and we need to know when is best, what time it's best to employ it. I still believe that there hasn't been a major trend reversal yet, both in the stock market and in Bitcoin. I'm not saying that sentiment isn't improved, market conditions aren't improving, but remember, we will never be late if we wait for the trend to establish itself and move upward. And so understanding when to deploy these tools, and especially maybe within what context, is maybe how we can best utilize them for short-term demand. Because, I guess Wes is the success story. I didn't know that about you. If Wes became a sign holder when he was originally a short-term holder, that gives more validity to using these services and maybe finding more sign holders, more builders. But it could be that maybe we would want to wait until we got promoted by Superman again, right? And on that day when Superman promotes us, that's when we go through cherry trending, because not only will he pump us, cherry trending will help increase the amplitude of the wave up. So I suggest that if the community wants to explore things like cherry trending and raiders more, we continue to collect data and we really come up with a plan to understand that these are tools and how best to employ them. Not just it's degen hours, let's pump up the chart. Really say, oh, in these specific cases, when these conditions happen in this environment, this tool is very valuable and useful to employ. Nothing wrong, again, with expending resources. As I said, the AWR Treasury wallets, I'm just a caretaker. If people want to spend it on sending everyone and airdropping everyone in our family a stuffed animal, we can do that. If you vote on it, I'll make it happen, right? We just need to make sure we have plans that we can articulate why we're doing this, how we do think it benefits us, so we can make more informed decisions in the future. And understand when it's best to employ these and deploy them. So, but again, most important takeaway is take time to yourself. Make sure AWR is a passion, not a job. If you need breaks, totally fine. I think there's some people in the community that were here when things were really exciting and, probably got burnt out trying to keep things exciting and fighting against the market, the downward trend. And it's okay that they need breaks and stuff and to refresh. Make sure you do the same and take care of yourself too. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to share, Wes. I'd like to invite others up to request.
Absolutely. The more the merrier that get up and speak. We've already spoke on a lot of stuff, and I'm hoping that some of the stuff that I have shared has clarified some stuff and also brings up more questions for us to try to iterate on this stuff. But yeah, I think I attacked everything on what we could look at as the short term. So what I'm gathering from you, Chris, is it seems like the people that you have inquired with has pretty much given you a bunch of bullshit and runaround, and it might be better off to go with an automated system like a CherryBot type of thing. Huh? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, it's just
you don't need to iterate on it that much. I mean, I just want to clarify. That's like what you're getting across.
In this space, the people that have offered services have been very ambiguous about what they are and provided data. And when they did provide data, I saw some charts that were like, oh, what's going on? We did that organically, kind of thing. So I would say if we can take out humans and automate it, and go through like Deck Screener or CherryBot or something, right? I think that's probably preferable right now. And as I said, we should acknowledge those that have taken time to promote us for free, out of taking time out of their day, before we maybe consider any other form of promotion or working with individuals who offer services.
Right.
Make sure to
I definitely like that. I definitely like that. Going back to, I'm looking right now that I'm back in front of my computer, and, it would be kind of a, in my opinion, kind of a fun thing to run, to see, because literally there's been 206 transactions in the last 24 hours. Right. And the market sentiment today is like, whatever. I mean, Bitcoin's up 0.5%, Ethereum up 0.35, Solana's up 0.36. So not a whole bunch of action today in the market. I'm curious as to what $99 on Deck Screener to boost 10 would do, because we did it during a time when the market was trending up. Mm-hmm. Now I can see our volume has completely been more than cut in half from 2 days ago. Would it generate something? I think this would be a good spot, or anytime probably, that we find another downtime like this. I'm not saying let's do it right this second. But, looking at what's happening right now would be a good time to do it and analyze and be like, okay, yeah, we literally have had, 200 transactions in the last 24 hours. We boosted for freaking 12 hours. And then all of a sudden there was 200 transactions that happened in 6 hours.
Yeah.
And then I can also track and see, I can't say I could sit by my computer for the next 6 hours, but you know what I'm saying? I can track buyers and look to see, are they new buyers? Are they new holders? And is that getting us anywhere?
Yeah.
For $100, I definitely think it is a good way for us to kind of gauge and analyze if it's even doing anything, because it isn't an outrageous amount of money like $5K spending on CMC.
Yeah.
So yeah, just wanted to bring that up. With the situation like it looks today, would be like another perfect time to be like on the opposite side of the spectrum, right?
Yep.
To see if it does make a difference. Again, we deployed during a uptrend. We deployed when the market was doing good things. So we don't really know if it helped us out any. If we were to deploy it now when things are dead, all of a sudden we see a boost, then we have some more gathered analysis as to if it's a good thing to do or not.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it at that. I don't think I had too much else to iterate on. Let me see. Does anybody like the idea of a Zoom meeting versus live on X? I definitely think this is a easier thing to do. I know we were having discussions about possibly doing a Zoom meeting, but I definitely think live on X is like the easiest access to, for all of us. But it's just something I wanted to throw out there. So please do in the Telegram if you think you'd want to do a live Zoom meeting, if you would be inclined to doing something like that. That way you can actually see the face behind the speaker. But whatever. That's just something else. And I guess the last thing HLS Crypto said he would absolutely do an interview with you, Chris.
Oh, okay.
He's down to interview. Now, I have not looked at his YouTube page to look at his particular interviews, but he has done interviews in the past. So I'm sure that you two could come up with an awesome plan before you actually do the YouTube video. And obviously this man knows how to do some amazing YouTube stuff with editing. Just looking at his first video today and subscribing and checking out the video he did on us. It was freaking awesome. I mean, it's absolutely professional. It looks great. So I'm thinking that you guys could obviously, get something awesome done there. And I'm totally open to do stuff too. I do have a camera. It's not wonderful, but I do have a camera for my computer. So I could, if people were looking to interview ambassadors or just part of the community, anybody that's in our community that feels confident, or even, I don't know if confidence is the right word, but, obviously some people are going to be camera shy. They'll be concerned about getting behind the camera. If you're willing to, because I think not only Chris doing interviews is going to be great for us, but when you get part of the community doing an interview and they're speaking about why they believe it, that's like the selling point of that. And I don't even want to say selling point, because I mean, when you hear somebody who has true passion, that's not the creator of the coin and they're just a part of the community, that's what's really going to resonate with people hard. I mean, obviously, Chris doxing himself right away was another reason why it drew me into this coin and to trust it immediately. Because I'm like, who is doing this? Who's really like putting themselves out there like that? And so that's I think when you put your face in front of something, and that's another way that people can just gain trust that much quicker to see, who you are as a person. So yeah. Obviously, thank you, HLS Crypto. Hopefully you and Chris can do something. Like I said, I'm totally open to do something. Hopefully Mario or Lauren or any one of you guys who've already made awesome photos and videos, could get up there too. Because I definitely think that's not a bad thing to do, getting actual community members to speak on why they're passionate about All Will Retire. And, just doing an interview on how we found it, why we resonated with it, and what we're doing with it to try to grow it. But I think with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up because, that the final notes I have right here on my notes is we are the utility, the human connection, the connections we're making, the connections I've already made with all of you guys, the connections I've made with everybody that's not here on Telegram that I'm with. It really is amazing. Like, I just feel like I'm part of, I've already made great friends. I just feel like, it's like I wish I was closer to some of these people that were all over the world, just so I could freaking give them a high five and just be like, man, it's just it's just it really is a good thing. But I don't want to ramble on too much. I just wanted to give that final note. We are the utility. So when people ask, well, what's the utility of this coin? It's human connection. It's human interaction. It's sharing your passions. And that's it. I'll leave it at that, Chris. Thank you so much for having me once again. Thanks for letting me speak on here.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for all the hard work that you guys do day in and day out. I appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah. Let me, this is a great spot to end on. Let's just talk about culture coins and we'll retire one more time. Culture coins offer emotional utility. That simple. We'll work on adding more. We want Pizza Day. We'll figure out how to do transactional utility in the long term. We want to help educate people, empower them with knowledge, and offer utility in that sense so they feel like they can actually secure themselves financially. But culture coins offer emotional utility. You need to think of ourselves as a social startup. Low overhead in terms of raising investment and funding, expending capital, and organizing highly skilled labor to offer technical utility. We are a social startup. We are both the employees and the product. As our job as employees, it is important to show off us, the product, to the world. It is why you're here. It is why that you're trying to figure out how to get through the messy middle, this awkward stage of growth, where most people turn back and quit. People have noticed, as HLS Crypto has said, that we are doing the work. People will notice outside of crypto Twitter too, what we have to offer, mainly because we offer it to ourselves first. We love ourselves. We embrace ourselves. We show up continually every day to make ourselves proud, to do something that matters to us. In a world where maybe people don't do that for themselves yet and they want to figure out how to, or in a world where they need more of that hope. In a world where they just want to be seen and accepted and have a family. We are a social startup that offers emotional utility to individuals first and foremost. And we got to continue to show ourselves off to the world because we are both the employee and the product. And I promise you this, we are worth it and you are worth it. It's why you're still here today. It's why you've offered me your time. Why you're offering everyone else your time. I really appreciate you being here. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to other people too. You should be proud of yourselves and what we're doing. It will be work. It will take time. But I will keep showing up because it's important to me. I will keep showing up because you're important to me too. With that being said, it's great chatting with you all. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Cheers.